ESPN dropped their new ESPN FPI power rankings. Now, on this list is quite some controversy with a whole bunch of SEC teams on this list. Today, though, we're going to talk about where Tennessee ranks on this list and where they have ended up, and is it the correct ranking before the season? Let's talk about it. All right, what's going on, y'all, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and y'all hype up this video, man. We live for another video for today. I know I've been very active today, man. And please, for those that are watching at home, we'll go ahead and pull this up. Please, guys, make sure you guys go vote. I've got quite some people answering. I've seen pretty much, man, more people want to see Miami content on the channel. But I want you guys, when you go back and you watch this video, to please let me know just the content you guys want to see, because I want to tell it around those teams, okay, moving forward. That's just what it is. That's what I want to do. We've gotten 6 new votes, okay? So I'm going to pull this up. Sorry, guys. I'm moving a little bit slower. My bad. Because I really want to know what my fan base is, right? And I want to tailor that content around. So I was just say it's a mixture, right? So I've gotten some Auburn, I've got some Alabama, I got Tennessee, but the main stakeholder of these 6 votes so far has been Miami. Okay, so I definitely have more Miami content on the channel. But please, at least get this up to about 15 or 20 votes, man, and let me know more content or more college football teams I should cover on my channel. Remember, I cover the main 6 that I said on my channel, right? Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, Georgia Tech, Miami. Georgia Tech and Miami is pretty much a given at this point. That's just going to happen. Miami's my favorite team. Georgia Tech I cover, pretty intensely as well, and I have the credentials, right? But the other teams I can cover more of, I just want to make sure I'm doing content that you guys are going to watch and you guys want to see, period. But let me know. We'll start right now. Miami is the leader. I'm going to come back and visit this a little bit later. Thank you guys for voting. Please continue to vote on this, okay? But back to the matter at hand, we're going to be talking about the Tennessee Volunteers, man. So they were ranked in this newest poll at number 16. I thought very high for Tennessee. I did not expect this. They're not having the best when it comes to their recruiting right now. I was thinking about doing a separate video on that. But this is the latest, as we can see here. It's not showing. Okay, here we go. All right, so where does Tennessee rank? Right now, Tennessee, Tennessee ranks as the number 16 team, essentially, according to ESPN FPI, right? One of their opponents this season is Texas. They're ranked number 2. Right, we know they have one of the tougher schedules in the conference. They're still projected to win 9.8 games this upcoming year and a 98% chance to get 6 wins. Okay, so where does Tennessee fall on this bracket? Okay, so basically for Tennessee, and when it comes to this bracket, the College Football Power Index for 2026, the Vols have a 20.5% chance to make the college football playoff. A 7-5 record is their projection, right? And then obviously we know about the other teams that are above them in this ranking, okay? Also in the ranking for Tennessee, they're given an 80.8% chance to win 6+ games, right? An average of between about 7.5 wins. And then also, hold on, let's pull up that number. Y'all forgive me. They rank number 16, as we know, and FPI gives them 15.1, okay? All right, so the projected to win the division or win the SEC is, or division is 0, 3.3% to win the conference, which is the SEC, 20.5% to make the national, or to make the playoff. To make the national championship is 2.5. To win the national championship is 1%. Okay, so that is what Tennessee is rolling with on the ESPN FPI. Now, in terms of their schedule, right, the first 4 games are semi-hard. I wouldn't say it's so much difficult. Got a couple cupcake games against Furman and obviously Kennesaw State, and then you have Georgia Tech and Texas as pretty much the main bargain right there. And I still said it's a crime. Texas should be played at least 3:30 or in that late night window, right? But Georgia Tech is going to be an interesting test because Georgia Tech is being underrated as well. That could be a dangerous team in the ACC this upcoming year. They were dangerous last year, going 8-0 to start the season. Tech could be very interesting with how they can run the football. Will the Tennessee defense be good enough in order to get stops against Georgia Tech that's going to run the ball and use play action, the new scheme, new offensive system overall. Remains to be seen for this unit. Now, for Tennessee, I think in this stretch, you got to at least go 3-1. Whether that's upset in Texas, whether that's beating Georgia Tech, or going 4-0 during the stretch, right? The peak of your season where it gets hard and why I think they're ranked 16 is Auburn, Arkansas, Alabama, South Carolina, right? That's one of the tougher parts of your schedule this upcoming season because a lot of these games, it's a mix of home and away, but how good will Auburn be this upcoming year? You host them, right? Then you got Arkansas on the road, right? That's a new look team with Ryan Silverfield as the head coach. AJ Hill's there. They got some new pieces. Alabama, how good would they be in the rushing attack, right? Will Keelan Russell win a starting job? Ryan Williams, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to look. And then South Carolina, right? A lot of people see it on, obviously, the Gamecocks and what they have this upcoming year. Can they be much better? Can they take a step forward, right? Very interesting questions to say the least. And then the last three are not easy either. Texas A&M and LSU. LSU is expected to be a national championship contender this year with Lane Kiffin as the coach, right? Texas A&M and the Aggies went 11-0 at one point last year before kind of falling off the final two games of the regular season and then in the playoffs. So in terms of that, like I said with Tennessee, we talk about the critical stretch they have. It's going to be that 4-game spot, right? Right in a chunk, middle of the season, right before November gets here. You get the bye week. You're going to have to handle business in that threshold and in that window in order to take that step forward, right? So for you, this ESPN FPI works in your favor because it shows, hey, you got a tough schedule for one, all right? And then number two, you have games that are winnable, right? But for Tennessee, you got to handle business early on in the schedule, right? Those first 4 games are critical because if you do slip up to an Auburn or to an Arkansas or Alabama or South Carolina during that stretch, you feel better about it. But you're going to have to start the first 4 the right way against Furman, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State, and obviously Texas. And I feel like for me, if you Tennessee, the big thing there is you're going to have to pull off that upset against Texas and beat them. All right? It just comes down to that. But I will say that the computer projections is favoring Tennessee pretty much higher than what other people are. And I think if you were Tennessee, you feel good about that 16 ranking. 7.5 wins is probably not where you want to be as a Tennessee fan. You want to get to probably like 9 or 10 because they get you right in that sweet spot. But 7.5 isn't bad with a new quarterback, right, in the equation, whether that's McIntyre or Faison Brandon. We'll see who emerges, right, in a new look defense. You just lost Chaz Coleman, who was medically disqualified, basically. He's gone. And a new defensive coordinator and Jim Knowles. So this is going to be a different looking team than what we've seen in years past for the Volunteers. Okay, so how do you overcome some of those challenges? How do you get better from it? That's going to be one of the biggest questions for them. But this ranking tells me they're valuing a lot of the opponents you're going to play this season, right? Texas is number 2 on this list. Okay, you play them this season, right? Alabama's number 8 on this list. You play them this season. LSU is number 9 on this list. You play them this season, right? Texas A&M is number 11 on this list. You play them this season, right? So you got 3 to 4 opponents in the top 11 that you're going to face according to this projection about the computer rankings, right? So for Tennessee, you just got to handle your business. Tough part of the schedule, that chunk of the season, them 4 games mid-season, you got to do what you got to do, right? And then the last 3 games with Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and LSU, you're going to have to make it do what it do and win those games as well. So for Tennessee, okay, what does it come down to, Naj? How can they get to a CFP playoff? I think you have to win between 9 and 10 games in order to make that a possibility and make that an ultimate reality. Easier said than done, but very possible and very plausible, right? But for Tennessee, you're going to have to handle business early on because if you struggle and you get early losses, it's going to be very hard to come back from, right? Bottom line, you got to handle business, win those games, do your business, and you should be coming out just fine, in my humble opinion. All right. So what would I say with this ranking? I think 16 really is not that bad to me. Like, that's kind of middle of the pack. I still think they're a top 25 team with everything that you bring into the equation. Running the ball with obviously with Virginia now, Deshaun Bishop, right? Having Javon Gordon in there, having really good running backs to say the least, good tight ends, and Ethan Davis. I think the best wide receiver core in the SEC, maybe even in the country, would look at Braylon Staley, Darius Jackson, TK Keys, Travis Smith Jr., right? And Mike Matthews. Nobody could top that 5 right there. Nobody's messing with that at all, right? And hopefully a new and improved defense, right? We'll see who emerges as the next edge rusher for them with everything that happened with Chaz Coleman. But you got good linebackers. You got Jaden Parlati. right? You get Aaron Carter back for another year, Brandon Rouse. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to step up as a true freshman. Tyler Redmond's shown he can be a lockdown corner. You bring back Idris Farouk. Like, you got all the pieces you need to be good this year. Now is, can you execute? Can you be better? Because this offense won games for you last year. But you might need the defense to do the same thing as you kind of equate a new quarterback. But this is not the first rodeo for head coach Josh Heupel. He's done this before. He did it with Nico Amaliava. Now he's going to have to be able to do it again and again and be able to turn that around for this team if they're going to get to where they want to be at, which is hopefully making another CFP playoff. It's possible, right? Because somebody's going to have to take a step back, right, from the teams last year. And somebody's going to have to take a step forward. If you're Tennessee, you want to take a step forward. And again, for those that say, oh, nah, Tennessee didn't have a great year last year, nobody even expected them to be good last year. Tennessee was seen as a bottom barrel team. Let's be real here. They really overachieved, if we're honest. No, the defense wasn't good. Yes, they had to move on. But this team overachieved compared to what they had and what they were able to overcome. This team did a lot better than what people give them credit for. So Tennessee, a team to watch for in the SEC, could be dangerous. And I think the number 16 ranking is just right for me, right? I don't think it's too high. I don't think it's too low. I think they're right in there. Now they just got to handle business and win some of these games in that tough stretch. They're going to have to be able to do what they do. Because if you go 10-2, right, and let's say you win of the non-conference games, let's say you can win 6 or 7, that's an automatic bid. You're going to make a CFP, right? So what does that come down to for Tennessee? You got to beat the Brands. You got to beat the Blue Bloods, right? So you got to beat Auburn. You got to beat Texas, to me. You got to beat Alabama. If you slip up in one of these two games between South Carolina and Kentucky, you'll be all right. You got to beat LSU, right? And in this stretch over here, handle your business. If you do that as a Tennessee player and a coach, you should be just fine because those are name brand wins. Check. Texas, name brand win. Check. Auburn, name brand win. Check. Right? Alabama, name brand win. Check. You know what I'm saying? LSU, name brand win. Check. Right? And whatever happens to them happens. Like, you go 9-3 in the SEC, we seen you can get in. Look at Alabama. Right? You're gonna be able to get in. And you have the number 6, you rate number 16, and you play like 4 of your opponents, your top opponents, or 4 of your opponents are in the top 11. Tells me all I need to know. 4 of your opponents are in the top 11. Right? So if you can go 3-1 in that stretch of those opponents that are in there, that's going to help you. Now, it can fluctuate because it's a projection throughout the season, but it's tough games nonetheless. And you have 10 Power 4 opponents. 10 if you're Tennessee. So outside of the 9 that you play in conference, you also add another game. Nobody's going to refute that if you win 9 of those games. So 9 and 10 wins is the threshold. The key for Tennessee is how good will your quarterback be? Is he like that? Is he built different? Those are the biggest things Tennessee is going to have to focus on and worry about moving forward. But I like the projection. I like him at number 16. I think it's a really good projection. Pretty good team, and I think it'll be a team to watch out for this year. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys want to see more Vols content. Please engage with that poll because I want to know more content you guys want to see besides GT. I'm trying to connect and grow my audience. All right? Love you guys, man, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, as always, peace and love.